Hey everybody, welcome back to this video. Good to see you today. I am going to do a first impressions application and kind of a color match for a pretty exciting Sephora launch. It was like there wasn't any info about it. I was browsing Sephora. This was on their coming soon list. I really like the looks of the ingredients, so I added to my wish list, and then all of a sudden it kind of just blew up. And of course, the claim to fame is that this is Sephora's first Black-owned clean beauty range. So there's a bit of talk about that. And what I'm speaking of is the LYS Beauty Triple Fix Serum Foundation. They've got a couple products, of course. Here is the packaging in its full glory. It's quite pretty actually, and it's got a triangular shape with all of their products, which I believe I heard someone mention that it represents change. The triangle is the delta sign. If you're into like math and physics and stuff, delta means change in something something. So they value things like diversity, inclusivity, and that's the whole overarching theme of the brand. They're fairly new, super affordable, might I add, but I was really drawn into the ingredients and hence why I picked it up. I actually have this foundation in two colors. We're going to do a little color swatch. I will show you the colors, and then I have a feeling I know which one is better for me. So I have here LG1, and I'll show you the side because that's probably easier to see, and this color is LG3. Okay, so little situation here. LG1 is actually the lightest shade that they currently have in the foundation, and LG3 is their third shade. They call this a very fair neutral, although light LG reminds me of light golden, because they also have a very fair neutral that's called LN, which to me sounds like light neutral. Regardless, they're calling this a very fair neutral, and they're calling LG1 a very fair with golden tones. So I have a feeling this is probably the better match for me, but we will do a little swatcheroo. So I do want to mention I also bought the LYS Love Yourself Gripping Primer. This had a bit of a thing online. People are talking about it kind of messes with the foundation a little. There's a little learning curve to application, so I'm going to take that out of today's video. I'm going to try it some other time. I just want to see how the foundation applies on my skin. Here is a little clip of my bare skin with nothing on it except skincare. And this is a list of what is currently on my face as I'm going to apply this foundation. I'm going to use the Real Techniques blending sponge that you all know and love. I did a little swatch of this on my hand, and the texture of it makes me feel like the sponge will be the better choice versus a brush, so I'm not going to use a brush today. So here I have both colors swatched on my side of my cheek. Now do note that where my neck and my chest is more of my natural born with his skin tone. My face is darker than the rest of my body, and my forehead is darker than the rest of my face, so it kind of goes down this way. If you look at this right here, this is LG1, okay, their lightest shade, and then this is LG3. I could probably get away with LG3, but I think LG1 will end up being the better match. Yeah, so here is what they look like, the two colors. So this is the foundation applied with the damp sponge lightly on this half of my face compared to the other side. It feels very light on the skin. When I say it feels tacky, I think it needs a minute or so to settle down. I'll let you know how it feels once I apply the other side, but I think the color looks great against my neck here. Let me move back for a second. If you compare my face to the rest of my body, it looks pretty good. So I think LG1, their lightest shade, is the right color for me. No sign of demarcation. Because I did use a damp sponge though, it does shear out the foundation a little bit. I found when I was just rubbing it into my skin, it does sink in a little bit into like the micro lines in your skin if your skin is dry, and right now my hands are super dry because of all the hand washing, so I did prefer to use a damp sponge. I'm not sure how this would go with a brush. It wouldn't be my personal preferred method of application, I don't think. But right now, I think there's still slight luminosity to the skin. I don't notice any shimmer or sparkle or anything. So I think it's just the moistness of the sponge and the formulation of the foundation. And again, of course, I'm in natural light. So love the color match so far. And if this works out well, you guys, this might be like a new everyday foundation. So far, so good. Let me put the other side on. This is the foundation applied to both sides of my face. One light, even layer with, again, my damp foundation sponge. I do notice on first application, when you're blending it out, it can look quite matte. It does apply very thin. You can really shear it out. I just have one light application on my face. In some areas like under the eyes, I put a little extra, but this is not heavy coverage. I think it's advertised to be like buildable, but this is how I would wear it on a day-to-day basis. I think it looks quite pretty, and although it applies matte on, you know, first touch, now that it's had a few minutes to sit on my skin, like I started applying on this side first, there is a bit of a glow, and you can see that in natural lighting, which I think is quite youthful. I don't know why, but on this side, we did go slightly patchy in some areas where I'm a little drier. I think it might be because I had too much water in my sponge, and as I keep going over the areas, you know, the water keeps diluting and diluting the formula. I love how it applied on this side. So I have to think about what happened between these two sides. The only thing I could assume is that I kept working and working the foundation and probably took too much of it off. But this side looks really gorgeous. I think with a little bit of play in terms of my application, I can get everywhere to look more like this side. If I get in closely right here, there is a very slight bit of patchiness around the forehead. It's not bad around my nose. My nose tend to be the problem areas with flakies. There is ever so slight bit of flakies on my forehead. I did exfoliate the best I could this morning, but that's just how it looks on my skin. I don't feel it's too obvious, and you might not even be able to tell with my camera right now, even though I am close. I can't get any closer or else my camera will likely just get confused and doesn't know where to focus. But with, you know, a normal distance looking at somebody, I think this actually looks very pretty, and the match with my natural skin tone seems great. So overall, first impressions, I like how this looks. I think this would be a fairly nice summer foundation, getting us into the warm weather because of how light it feels. And actually, now that it's dried out on my skin, there is just a tiny smidge of, like, I won't even say tackiness. Like, you can feel your skin is slightly moist, but it's definitely not greasy. I don't know how it wears, but I guess I'll find out. And the ingredients being quite nice in this foundation, and reading and leaning a bit more towards skincare with the hyaluronic acid and turmeric and ashwagandha extract. I'm hoping this will work out for me in the long run, because it's hard to find a color match, it's hard to go clean, and if all those things come together in one, I'd be really happy with the price point as well, with this being less than $30 Canadian, which is like a total win. Let me know your thoughts on this foundation or this brand. Are you interested? Are you going to try it? Leave me your thoughts and questions down below in the comment section, and I will chat with you later. Take care, everybody. Bye.